Hi, everybody. Happy October. Thanks for joining me. Even though it's in the 70s and 80s here in New York City, somehow it is starting to feel a little bit like fall. Today, I looked out the storefront windows here in Westchester, and the leaves were falling like cute little yellow rain, and I was just entranced. And even though I am not a fall lover, we ask all of our clients what their favorite season is, and overwhelmingly the answer is fall. Well, that is just absolutely not the case for me. I'm a summer gal, but if I had to enjoy fall, well, these are the days to do it, when it still is a little bit warm, but that crispness is coming in the air, when you want to go home and build a fire, but you're still wearing capri pants. I mean, does it get better than this? I don't think so. So what I wanted to share with you at the top before I dive into your questions is I wanted to talk about fall trends, because I don't necessarily swap out my decor based on trends. I certainly don't swap out my wardrobe based on fall trends, but it is fun to add something new, to incorporate something seasonally. It's just fun to go shopping. So even if you're buying only a little something, even if you don't want to break the bank, it is kind of fun and certainly festive to buy a little something reflective of trends. And something that you guys may know, but secrets out, is that home trends are greatly influenced by fashion trends, more so than vice versa. So when we're looking at those fall collections, which come out, significantly in advance of the season, 6 months in advance, we're already thinking about fall in terms of fashion. Well, that's when people start also thinking about home design and the home trends that are coming up. And certainly those fashion trends are almost directly translatable to things that you'll find at Crate&Barrel, West Elm, etc. So I wanted to share with you a few of my favorite trends. I probably should have added in trends that I really don't like, but it's a mix. Like I say, I'm not a huge trends fan, but I want to let you know what I'm seeing. I want to let you know what's out there. I want to show you how the things we're seeing on the runway really translate to the shelves at HomeGoods. All right, so the first thing that is really hot right now is red. The color red, be it in upholstery or in artwork or even in small splashes like accent pillows, red is everywhere right now. It's a very controversial color. It's not a restful color. It's a color that increases anxiety. It's a color that you want to use in small doses versus painting your entire room red, which is a big commitment, both time-wise and emotionally, because it does trigger, like I said, anxiety, anger, passion, sometimes passion in a good way and sometimes in a not so good way. So I think red is a little bit divisive, and I have it in my home quite a bit and love it, but use in small doses. The other thing that's really big right now that again should be used in small doses is Fringe. Now, Fringe is something that I'm always a fan of. It's not just a trend for me. I love it on pillows. I love it on rugs. I think it's such a fun texture on a wall hanging or tapestry. I love the organic quality of the Fringe falling down. One thing about Fringe is it's a little bit high maintenance, right? So if you are a perfectionist, if you have a little bit of OCD, you're going to be constantly petting your Fringe and trying to get it to all go in one direction. So hopefully this trend is something that you, OCD or perfectionist people, may avoid, and rather it's more for someone laid back who likes the free and easy style, who's not too worried about their Fringe getting bumpy and clumpy. I have a little bit of both in me, but if I'm going to buy something with Fringe, I'm going to learn to let it go. So again, I would keep it to those accents like a cool wall tapestry or a really fun pillow. And I do like Fringe on my rugs, but I do find I have Fringe on my entryway rug, and that's a huge mistake because I'm constantly petting it into place. And the minute you vacuum, you think you're doing something good, but that Fringe gets caught up in that roller. Ugh. Anyway, Fringe is a little bit high maintenance, but certainly it's a trend I love. Oh, here's another one, glitter. So glitter tends to be feminine, right? That tends to be a more feminine choice. It's not necessarily something that's right for every room. Certainly anything with glitter like a vase or a ceramic centerpiece or even accent balls or something like that, that glitter can come off. Certainly during the holidays, oh my gosh, there's so much glitter around Christmas time, Hanukkah time, and that stuff you'll be finding for months to come. I prefer glitter used like in a sequin type way, something that's a little bit more controlled, something that feels a little bit more high end. But glitter itself, glitter for glitter's sake, glitter on a candle, glitter that you buy from Michael's, that is all the rage right now. I don't plan on incorporating any glitter in my home anytime soon, but I do like that hint of shine. So even if you're a little bit afraid of the crafty look or the less than sophisticated look of glitter, maybe you can find different ways to incorporate shine through those paillettes or through small mirrors or through anything metallic that's polished, like a chrome or even a shiny gold or rose gold would be amazing. And then you don't necessarily have to go for the glitter. One last trend that I'm seeing, and then I'm going to get to some live questions, is patchwork. I love crafts as much as the next gal, but sometimes things can feel a little too homespun. So if you're going to really embrace this patchwork trend this season, what I'd recommend is making sure that all the patches are in the same sort of neutral or the same tone, something monochromatic versus doing a lot of different multicolored patches that can look a little too crafty, again, less sophisticated. But if you were using all variations of gray patchwork, or going back to that red trend, all variations of burgundy in your patchwork, well, I could be really down with that on a throw blanket, even on an upholstered chair. That seems very Anthropology to me. And once again, looking for that monochromatic scheme will keep it much classier than going for the rainbow brights. So let me get to a question that has just come in live from Sig. And Sig wrote me, hi, Becky. Well, I definitely answered to Becky, but it's Betsy officially. I need a source for pre-assembled nesting tables. 3 tables to replace my rickety TV dinner tables. Question 2, I want to paint an accent color around my fireplace to make the area pop. Should I use a teal that is darker or lighter than the teal painted on the back of my bookcases? Okay, cool. Well, let's get to the first question, pre-assembled nesting tables. So the key with pre-assembled pieces is you're going to have to spend more. You're going to have to buy pieces that come already made from higher end stores. That doesn't necessarily mean they're better quality. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have better styles, because certainly you'll find more selection if you open yourself up. And the awesome thing about nesting tables is they require very little assembly. Typically, they're not going to have drawers. Typically, they're not going to have doors. Typically, they're not going to have those things that really make assembly more difficult. So I don't know why you're so adamant about this pre-assembled note, because I whipped together my nesting tables in about 30 minutes, and I'm not even particularly handy. But seeing as how you're very adamant, Sig, let's stick to Pottery Barn. Let's look at Crate and Barrel. We could even check out Ballard Designs. I don't know your style per se, but if you're into teal, I'm thinking you might be a little bit more contemporary. So maybe we'll look at Z Gallery. They have a lot of cool mirrored nesting tables. So those would be my go-to places to find some pre-assembled nesting tables. And of course, for those of you listening who are into doing a little DIY, I love going to Wayfair, Overstock, Target. They have hundreds of options for awesome nesting tables. I think mine costs $75 for the entire set of white nesting tables. And Sig, I use it for the exact purpose you explained. I don't have room for a hardtop coffee table, because my entire family likes to put their feet up when we're sitting on our sectionals. So we have a big upholstered ottoman that's round, and certainly we put a tray on top of that from time to time. But if you're doing what I did last night and eating dessert in front of the TV, you want sort of a TV tray, right? And that's what that nesting table can provide, is that TV tray experience. And one other place where they would come pre-assembled is West Elm, because that made me think of those C-shaped tables, which are also really good TV tray alternatives. And they have a lot of pre-assembled options for that. And I ate my dessert in front of the TV on my nesting table that I built from Overstock for $75. So Sig, I hope that helps. Let's get to your next question. Should you paint the accent color around your fireplace lighter or darker? The key for me is are you going to be using this fireplace? If you're using the fireplace for actual wood, then the fireplace can get quite dirty, whether you're cleaning out the cinders from the bottom or whether some smoke is coming up from the top. I use my fireplace very regularly for Duraflames. I'm very low maintenance. And even with Duraflames, sometimes I'm getting that residual effect on the outside of my fireplace surround. So I have painted that brick in a semi-gloss white. That way it's really easy to scrub off with a magic eraser or even just a damp paper towel. But in your case, I'm going to recommend, if you're using that fireplace, for you to go with the darker teal. That way you won't have to clean it as much and the soot won't show. If it's a non-working fireplace, I'm open. Either effect could be really nice, especially if the color on your bookcase is a little bit darker, then you'd want to go lighter. If it's truly a mid-tone, the world's your oyster. But I love the idea of going for a strong contrast. So make sure it does not look similar. Make sure if you're looking at that paint chip and your bookcase color is right in the middle, that you don't just go one shade lighter or one shade darker, but go 2, go 3 for that truly dramatic effect. So we can clearly see the contrast and it makes a bigger impact. All right, my next question came from Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. I miss you. Jennifer is a dear friend of mine from Brooklyn, from one of my mommy groups. And we have both since moved to suburbia. Hopefully we're loving it. But she just bought an adorable house, and so I'm dying to help you. I have a teal couch on order for my living room. Hello. That is a strong choice, Jennifer. You have made a strong choice. I myself, even as a designer, would not go for a teal couch. That's a big commitment to a bold color, but I'm excited for you. Big commitments are awesome. Let's see here. What color would you put with this? I was thinking yellow, and then I was thinking pulling it all together with a carpet. So you guys know, if you're longtime fans and listeners, that I do love to start with an inspiration piece. So rather than just choosing colors I like, I start with one piece, be it a throw pillow, artwork, or drapes, or a rug, oftentimes in my case, that has multicolors, that I can pull my color palette for the entire room from that piece. So Jennifer, I would ask you, do you have a piece of art? Do you have a multicolored rug? Do you have a multicolored pillow that you're really in love with, that you really want to inspire the palette for the entire room? Then rather than just randomly selecting your secondary color, you would choose from the palette found in that item. So say there was a really rich purple in there. Or say there was a really interesting navy. That would be fun, because teal does read a little feminine. So you don't want this to become Princess Palace or Girly Girl. I mean, you live with 2 guys, for goodness sakes, a husband and a son. So you want to make sure it feels a little bit balanced in terms of energy. And even if we're not thinking of masculine and feminine in terms of typical gender roles, I just use it as a way to sum up sort of groupings of colors and what tends to appeal and what feels out of balance when you have too much of one thing. So offset that feminine teal with something that feels more masculine, something that's maybe a deeper jewel tone. And I'm really thinking, I mean, you appear to have a pre-war home. It appears to be a historic home from the listing I saw. So rather than going gray, if that doesn't feel intrinsic to the style of the space, maybe go with a taupe in terms of a neutral to calm it down and make it feel a little bit more sophisticated. All right, my next question came from Sig. Oh yes, Betsy, I know that. I sent that while working. Oh, so it must have auto-corrected to Becky, which is totally fine. Like I said, I answered to both. So you thought that furniture requiring assembly would become rickety. Well, it certainly can, but so can furniture that comes assembled. I mean, it's shipping across sometimes international waters, oftentimes international waters, let's keep it real. And so it goes through a lot in its fully formed state. And so that doesn't always mean it comes out the other side really solid. Additionally, something super simplistic like a nesting table, I have no worries that you'll be able to assemble that with confidence or hire a handy person who can do it for minimal cost. The thing that starts to concern me is when you limit yourself, then you're really increasing the price point to those pre-assembled pieces. And yeah, so my nesting tables are still rocking. And like I said, I did it myself with one of those little cordless drills. So there we go. Well, guys, it has been such a pleasure talking with you today. Jennifer, it's been great reconnecting. Sig, thanks for checking in again. And guys, if you have questions, I really want to hear them. So keep them coming. You can email them to Betsy at affordableinteriordesign.com. You can go to our podcast website at bigdesignsmallbudget.com. You can, of course, write them on our Facebook page, Affordable Interior Design. And until next week, keep painting, keep designing, and go shopping for some trends. Why not? All right, talk to you later. Bye.